Hey everybody, and welcome to Animate for Life. Today's going to be a slightly shorter video because of the series I'm going to talk about, or rather two series that I'm going to be talking about. And just the way they're set up, I can't really show much, otherwise I spoil the whole thing, just because of how they're set up. And what's funny is both these series are tied together. They're done by the same author, but one is an off-brand, Rule 34, Dojin, and the other is a very wholesome, very feel-good, heartwarming series. And the first one I will talk about is the Rule 34, because I feel like it's the best place to start. And that would be this one. And I hope I pronounced this right. It's Elfsan Kakohen, which translates pretty close to Elfsan's past. And when you think, or for most people, I would say, when you think of an off-brand, you think of lighter tags, let's say. This is YouTube, I can't go to explicit. But you're not going to look for stuff like violence and gore and death and body mutilation, things like that. That just doesn't appeal to most people unless they're looking for, like, Nightmare on Elm Street or something, or Friday the 13th. That should stay in that kind of category. Unfortunately, you're going to find all of that in this series, or rather, eventually. This series is actually still in the works. But I'm actually very interested to read this one as it plays out. And you might think to yourself, well, why the heck would you want to do that? Well, hear me out. This one ties into this one. The apothecary is going to make this ragged elf happy. And I hope I pronounced that right. This is after everything happens in the R34 manga. So in order to understand what happens in this one, because they don't go into her past. And if I remember right, her name is Rezshir or something. It's very, very weird. So I'll just call her Rez. They don't go into her past very much. She's already beaten and bruised and hurt and just very distrustful of everybody. And she actually can't even really talk in the beginning. But they don't tell you what happened really to her, just that she was a slave. Whereas this one shows what happened before all that happened, when she was still, in good health and not beaten up and, had a happy life. So it's really interesting how the same author who can do such a heartwarming series like this, where the main character is a doctor and picks her up and nurses her back to health and takes care of her and actually eventually helps her to speak again, is tied to this one, which is full of the usual stuff you would find in a Rule 34, but also very, very, very dark material that I'm sure not a lot of people could stomach. Especially with what they have to do later on in the Apotheca is going to make this ragged elf happy. The wholesome one. They have to do some pretty drastic stuff, put it that way. So, although this one isn't very long, like, I looked into it because I had to do the research purposes. When I actually found mention of it in the comments section to this one. They only have like 7 pages up, and the quote unquote action is really just getting started. So they haven't gone too far into it yet, but it's probably the only dark R34 that I'm actually interested in seeing, simply because I want to know her past, Rez's past, and how everything led up to what it did. And it would make it much easier to understand her life afterwards with the doctor. And she actually asks him why he treats her well, and he gives his own reasons. But again, I don't want to give too much away, because this series is actually one page is one chapter, which is why I'm not showing any more than this, because I'd be giving away everything just by showing one page. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, very short video today because I can't really show much. I obviously can't show anything of Elfsan Kakohen because it's R34. I would get insta-banned for that. And for Apothecary, well, one page is one chapter. I'd literally be spoiling the whole thing if I showed anything with there. But I will leave the link for the one in the description. And I gave you the sauce for the other one. So if you want to go check them out, check them out. I'm sure you'll definitely enjoy Apothecary. And for those who do want to check out the other one, well, I hope you have a strong stomach, because for what's likely to come, for how she hints at her past is just in the original works, because I'm pretty sure Elfsan Kakohen came afterwards, after he found success with the other one. It's gonna get pretty dark, like Higurashi levels of dark. But anyways, I will leave it there. I wish I could make it more interesting, show you more, but unfortunately the way things are with both of them, I can't this time. But yeah, hopefully you find that interesting. Maybe give them a check out. Like, subscribe. That'd really help me out. And yeah, there's actually another one I'm thinking that I'll put out, which again is in very similar circumstances to this one, but that'll come another day. So until then, keep enjoying anime, and anime for life.